Throughout the first 3 quarters of the Lakers-Suns game tonight, I was not expecting to make this kind of video. I was actually going to make a video about another Lakers slow start to the season, starting off 0-2, how LeBron and AD weren't looking that great. But then the fourth quarter came and they played out of their minds. And throughout the first game and a half of the season, LeBron James almost looked human. And it wasn't that he wasn't looking good, he was looking fine, but he wasn't looking unstoppable like we've seen him in the past. Throughout the first 3 quarters against the Suns, he only had 11 points and was struggling from the field. The Lakers were also down 12 points through 3 quarters, and I was thinking LA was headed for another slow 0-2 start. Then, in the fourth quarter, both LeBron and the Lakers came alive. Throughout the first 3 quarters, Kevin Durant had 30 points and was just cooking the Lakers, and it didn't seem like they could stop him. And combined with his 30 points and LeBron's 11, it was looking like the Suns were just going to dominate the Lakers without Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. And I was like, oh my goodness, this Lakers team is headed for another rough start, and how are they going to bounce back? I'm going to have to make a video about that, and I was ready to talk about it. But all of a sudden, Kevin Durant in the fourth quarter had only 9 points on 4 for 11 shooting and turned the ball over 3 times. And 3 of those makes were in the last little bit of the game when the Lakers were already ahead by a decent amount. And the game was basically over already. He started off the quarter 1 for 6, and this allowed the Lakers back into the game, eventually winning it. The Lakers were able to double him and give him the attention that Bradley Beal and Devin Booker would take off of him if they were back in the lineup. And in the fourth quarter, LeBron had 10 points and 2 assists and a steal, clinching the game for the Lakers. He was the best player in that fourth quarter. And watching the game, he just went downhill time after time after time. Even the times where he wouldn't make it, he was just putting pressure on the defense. And he got Kevin Durant to foul him a couple times and just drew a couple fouls, shot some free throws, and just got to the rim at ease. He went coast to coast a couple times, and I was just so impressed with him and how he's in year 21 of his NBA career, and he's still dominating at this level, and he's doing this at a level that we have never seen before at someone's age 38, 39 season. And for him to be doing this in year 21 is just so impressive for me, because he's doing things at 38 years old that most people can't do in their prime at 27, 28, 29 years old. He is dominant. He's still a top, I'd say, 7 to 10 player in the NBA. Maybe he has fallen out of that top 10, but he's definitely top 12 to 13 players in the NBA. And this is obviously some people's high. If you can be a top 12 to 13 player in the NBA, that is elite. There's really good players that I don't consider top 12 to 13 players in the NBA, kind of like Donovan Mitchell. I think he's maybe top 16 players, top 14 players. And Donovan Mitchell is an incredible player who scored 70 points last year. And for LeBron to still be a top maybe 7 to 12 player in the NBA at this stage in his career is so impressive. And I want to give a huge shout out to him. And I've never been a LeBron fan. Throughout my entire time watching the NBA from about 2011 or 2012, when I became a Raptors fan, he's continually just been dominant of my Raptors and of the league, and I've never been a big fan of his. Even in the Warriors versus Cleveland series in the finals all those years, I was cheering for Golden State because Klay Thompson's one of my favorite players in the NBA. And for him to just be this dominant, I have to give him kudos though, because over the last couple of years, I just had to realize that he's a generational player. He's a top 2 player for sure in the NBA, in NBA history, and I have to appreciate watching him while I still can. I've been able to watch him since I was basically born. He was literally drafted 3 months after I was born, and now he is still dominating the league, and I'm turning 21 in a few months. It's crazy. I'm in university, and he's been here in the NBA throughout my entire life. Now, I also want to talk about Anthony Davis. In the last game, in the season opener, Anthony Davis had a scoreless second half. He had 17 points in the first half, but then did not score a single bucket or free throw in the second half. And people were thinking, oh, is he going to let down LeBron this year? LeBron was talking about passing off the torch to him in this season and how he was going to be the number 1 option offensively, and then he goes out and puts up a stinker in the second half and they lose. In this game, he totally bounced back, putting up a 30-point, 13-rebound double-double with 3 blocks and decent efficiency. And he really helped keep the Lakers in this game when LeBron was struggling in the first 3 quarters. LeBron only had 11 points in those first 3 quarters, and when you don't have a performance like that, when you don't have a dominant performance from LeBron, normally the Lakers aren't going to be in the game. They won't be playing very well. But Anthony Davis had a bunch of points through the first 3 quarters, and he ended with 30 points and had 13 rebounds and had 3 blocks, which having 3 blocks is a very good sign for this team, because he is supposed to be the defensive anchor of this team. And one thing in the first game is he was not playing up to his defensive standards. He wasn't guarding Jokic most of the time. We would take an off assignment, maybe guarding a lesser player. So to see him really guard the best post players on the other team and have those 3 blocks in this game was really a good sign for them. The Lakers outscored the Suns 28-11 in the fourth quarter and just totally ran away with the game. They only actually won by 5, but it was not as close at the end of the game as it looks by the score, because the Suns got a couple of buckets in the late going to make it look a little bit closer, but in reality, from about 4 or 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, I knew that the Lakers were just going to win this game, because they had simply taken over. LeBron and Anthony Davis took over the fourth quarter. In particular, LeBron took over the fourth quarter. So I don't know if the Lakers are a championship contender this year, but they're definitely going to finish within the top 4 to 6 seeds in the Western Conference. And I think if LeBron and Anthony Davis can stay healthy, this team could make a run like they did last year. But the health and consistency of Anthony Davis is going to be key for them this year, because in times past, he just hasn't been consistent enough, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy to become that number 1 option in LA, as LeBron has become a little bit older and gotten to the tail end of his career. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of the Lakers and Suns game and what you think of both teams going forward. God bless you all. I hope you have an amazing day, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers by Christmas. God bless.